Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 2 of the podcast. My name is Garrett Thompson. I am coming to you live from Humber North Campus in a residence room. Let's get right to it. So, big news. The CWHL is ceasing operation, basically meaning it's shutting down. After 12 seasons and excellent hockey, it's starting to shut down, and I have a couple of points on it. First of all, I was upset to see it shut down because women's hockey has been growing so much, and over the last couple of years especially, it's gotten a whole bunch of new attention, a whole bunch more of attention, and it's been great to see. The CWHL shutting down, and here's the thing. I don't think it's definitely not the end of the CWHL. Not the end of not meaning like it's the end of the CWHL, but like there's going to be something that happens. My best bet is that maybe some of these teams would go and join the NWHL. That would be the best call. More teams go into the league. You start to make more money. The women make more money as they deserve because the hockey is amazing. It's fast-paced. It's really skilled. It's incredible hockey. It's as interesting, if not more, to watch the NWHL or the women's hockey like it is to watch men's hockey. It's just as interesting, if not more. It's a lot more skilled. There's not as much hitting, so like you really have to body and you really have to do all that kind of stuff, which is really cool to watch. Watching like Olympic hockey, sometimes I think men's hockey is a lot more about like the show and the flash, and the women's is about like skill, grind to the net, and try to score. It's a lot for the men. It's a lot about like I'm gonna toe drag around him and try to go bar down. The women are like, okay, let's get it hard to the net. They can put as much show on the puck as the men can. They're just a lot more, I would think in some cases, are a lot more focused about getting to the net and actually playing the good, skilled part of the game. It's incredible. It's not, they were talking about it. They said that it wasn't closing at all because of the skill of the game or how popular the game's gotten. It's strictly because of the economic unsustainability. Like, I've done some research into this because I've been interested numerous times long before CWHL talked about shutting down, and I looked at the contracts and I looked at how much money the women are getting paid. $6,000, under $20,000 a player easily, and it's you can't live off of that. In the NWHL, they're doing better than that. They're not doing as good as they probably could be, and easily should be. They're not doing that well at all, and I think they should be doing a lot better. I think that if, like, with the CWHL closing down because of this, I think it would maybe be a remodeling of that league. I would want to see one league, like the NHL has, have one league, the National Women's Hockey League, be all the Canadian teams, American teams, and have, like, the team in China, the Red Dragons. I think that's sweet, having a team all the way over there, expanding the game in Asia. It's really grown over there, really grown. It's helped a lot. They have, the KHL has a Red Dragons team, which is the Russian Elite League. The CWHL expanded a team out there, which was really cool as well. That expands women's hockey in that part of the world. It's same did with men's, which is really cool. I think Asia has its own league, which is really cool as well. I'm fairly certain they've had a few NHLers go and play, or former NHLers go and play in the KHL, play in China, play in the Asian Pro League, which is really cool as well. I think that if the NWHL manage to work together, I think if the CWHL and the NWHL manage to work together and create something like a combination, I think that would be incredible for women's hockey. I think that it would completely remodel how much press it gets, for sure. Like, it does get press. Just imagine what it would happen if, like, both the teams combined and you have teams traveling all over. How I think it would just absolutely flourish. And I want to see that because I think, like, women deserve to play high level. Women deserve to get paid for playing the level of hockey that they do, because that's high level hockey. They take it seriously. The stands are packed. I looked at some highlights from the NWHL championship game when I believe the Riveters won. Incredible. The stands were full. if you can not only keep that success going at the NWHL and bring in the CWHL and do something with that, that would just, it would mean, there would be not a negative in sight. They would just be all positive, and it would just flourish the game going forward. It would be incredible. I would absolutely want to see that. The Toronto Furies, Toronto's team, going all over, like seeing all, like Toronto's team did really well this year. I had a friend that was working with them in really cool. They did really well this year. They made it to the semis, I believe, and I think that's incredible for them. A very good team. I watched a bit of the final. The Montreal Les Canadiens and the Calgary Inferno played in the final. Calgary won 4-2. I watched a bit of that game. That was fast game. Great play, both ends. Both goaltenders played really well. Everybody was just, they were flying. It was great. They were playing it at the Coca-Cola Coliseum, home of the Marlies. It was really cool to watch. I was liking it that it was played on Sportsnet. It was an all-women broadcasting team, which was also really cool, which I want to see more of, especially in NHL games. I think there should be women calling NHL games regularly. They really should be. I think so. I think it would definitely, it wouldn't change how the viewers view the game at all. At least I wouldn't. It wouldn't affect me at all. I think it would be great to see everybody broadcasting the games. It would be sweet. It would be really cool to see. So, to conclude up this topic, I think that if the NWHL and the CWHL combined, I think that it would be incredible for women's hockey as a whole. And I think that because of all the popularity and because of all the media coverage and all the interest, and I think advertisements would get on them and start to pay them more. I think the teams would pay them more. I think more money would start to come in, therefore they would get paid more, obviously, and they would start to get paid some good money, livable money. Because I know that a lot of them, I think they would probably be working jobs outside of hockey, because they're all doing it for the passion, but they deserve to get paid, because they train just as hard, if not harder, than NHLers do over the summer. They're doing everything that anybody else playing professional hockey would be doing. They're just not getting the recognition and the pay that they deserve. So I think, to conclude, if they were to do something like this, or if the CWHL were to remodel and do something on their own terms, I think it would flourish. So, on to the next topic. The Leafs and Senators played on Saturday night. The Ottawa Senators have 62 points on the season. 62. The Leafs, with the depth and everything that I've talked about and run on for, have 94 points? I'm fairly certain, correct me if I'm wrong, 94, 95 points? No, 95 points, excuse me, because they have the Senators have 62. The Leafs lost 4-2 to the Ottawa Senators, as I already said. I watched the Steve Dangle video, and I was thinking the same thing he was thinking. He did a great video on it. You can look him up on YouTube. He's really cool as well. I love watching his videos. He was talking about this game as well. I'm going to talk my own way about the game. I'm a goalie, and I love having a team with good goaltending. I love seeing that. My favorite player on the Leafs by a mile is number 31, Frederik Andersen. I love him to death. He's great goalie. He's incredible. He's got the league. He's got the most wins in Leafs history in a single season. He's an incredible goaltender. He's worked hard this season and he's tired. That's why he's not playing. Our backup, however, has brought me several problems. I've stressed out heavily about it. If anybody knows, if you know me, you know that I have had some screaming matches at the television with the goaltender in net, Garrett Sparks. Now, Saturday night, that game was a game of... I don't even know how to describe it to you. Like, I can't blame a single goal on the team but him. 2 of those goals are 5-hole. 2 of them. Actually, you know what? 3 of the goals were easily stoppable. The first 2 were 5-hole. Take away those 2 goals, and the way the Leafs worked, we won the game. Leafs would have won 3-1. Leafs would have won 3-1. No problem. Oh no, sorry. The Leafs would have won 2-1, probably 3-1, with the advantage and then the empty netter. They would have had the momentum and they would have taken it. Craig Anderson puts on a game. He seems to do this a lot against the Leafs, where I've seen games in the past where he just turns it on. He plays really well. We may score a few goals on him, but he plays really well. He just seems to quote Steve Dangle, pulls a rabbit out of his hat, pulls a magic trick, and makes an amazing game. Just has a great game. He had a great game. I thought we would have had so many more chances. I thought it would have been a totally different story if Garrett Sparks was not Swiss cheese and couldn't stop a beach ball. If he had managed to make those key saves, I think it would have been a completely different game. Absolutely. We start off, Ottawa scores both their first 2 goals were right between the wickets. And then they got a goal from the point, I believe. I stopped watching, or I didn't see that goal. Austin Matthews comes back and does what Austin Matthews does and scores a beautiful goal, top corner, perfect shot. Connor Brown comes down and goes same spot within a minute, and I was watching the game. I'm like, okay, I see you. Okay, I respect this. This is what I want to see. We're getting back into the game. The boys are bringing it back up. Then they make it 3-2. The point of a goaltender is that, yes, there are some moments I've watched games with Sparks and net, and I will agree, some of the goals were not his fault. In some games, they're not his fault. There are times where they were his fault, and this was the game where the goals were on him. Don't always blame the goalie. In this case, though, it was his fault. It was him to blame. It was his fault. He's the reason why they went in. That can't happen. You are a team that is 4th in the league, 5th in the league. You're 3rd in the Atlantic. You're a good team. You are going places. You're going into a playoff matchup against the Boston Bruins, a team that if we don't play the way we are supposed to play, they will wipe the floor with them. I am a diehard Leafs fan. I've loved them for my entire life. I'm to the bone a Leafs fan. But if we do not play the way we're supposed to, we will lose in the first round. We have the absolute capability, all of our lines, if they all fire on all cylinders, easily pass Boston. Easily. It is just one of those things where we cannot lose to teams to Ottawa. If we lose to a team like Ottawa, what are we going to do? Ottawa is last in the East and second last in the league. They have 62 points. They're garbage. They're so bad. They're such a bad team. They're not good. They're doomed for years to come. And I'm saying it the way I'm saying it because Ottawa has chirped my team and I don't like it. They're I think the general manager was all talking about the Leafs defense and how they're not, and how the Leafs don't have any defense. We do have defense. It's just it's a whole team thing not showing up. We do have defensemen. We have good defensive. Jake Muzzin, Morgan Riley, Ron Hainsey. Everyone's like, oh, Ron Hainsey's slow, blah 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 blah. Even I've said that he's a good player. He's won a Stanley Cup. You don't win a Stanley Cup for being not good. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to play defense. He's great. Jake Gardiner, as much as I've chirped him, and he's not my favorite player, he plays in the NHL for a reason. He's a good player. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to play hockey. Fuck, we need him back. We need him back badly. So badly. We need him back so badly, and it is mandatory that we get him back in the lineup. Him and Travis Dermott. We brought Travis Dermott back, and you could see that there was a difference. He played incredible on Saturday night. He played really well. The team as a whole played incredible. We played really well. It was on Sparks that we did not win the game. It was on him. After the game, he said that I should have made those saves, and I've got to get better at it. Instead of apologizing, Instead of saying that you'll do it, make saves. You're in the NHL. Whether you're ready to be in the NHL is a different story. Who cares? You're in the NHL. Show that Dubas was right in signing you to a contract and bringing you up. We've got a guy in the AHL right now, Michael Hutchinson. He's having a pretty good season. The numbers may not show that he has NHL experience. He has NHL experience, and he's good. When he played up here, he played great. He was incredible. I was so happy that he was here. That tandem of Freddie and him, I was so happy, and I wanted them to keep it, and then they brought Sparks up. I got the notification on my phone, Garrett Sparks brought off of injured reserve to the team. Michael Hutchinson sent down. I was mad. I was so mad. And then I got to a point where I was like, okay, Sparks, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong that you can do it. He's 8-1 this season. Out of 17 games, he's 8-1. Curtis McElhaney last year played that many games or less, and he had a .935 save percentage. He stonewalled Boston last year when he played in the regular season. He played incredible. But no, we trade him away and trade Pickard away, who is also NHL experience. We have Sparks. Now we had to get Hutchinson because we didn't have anything else. Kasimir Kaskisuo, if I'm saying that right, who's never played in an NHL game, who's decent, and I think he should have gotten his start by now, but it's fine. And who else? Ottawa has better goaltenders in the system, much better. They may not have the hardware to show for it, but they have better goaltending in the system. Much better goaltending. They have Mike Condon, who's completely off the map. I haven't seen him play since he got sent down. I haven't seen any trace of him since he got sent down. I think he's on long-term injured reserve. And then you've got Marcus Hogberg and Philip Gustafson, who played incredible in the World Juniors. He's been playing great for Belleville. So has Hogberg. I don't know where Condon's at, but I'm certain. I think he played really. He didn't have a great game when he played, but he's got NHL experience. When he came into Ottawa, he played incredible. He had a 4-game shutout. He had 4 shutouts in the first half of the season. He played incredible. They've got more goaltending depth than we do, and we have 95 points. We have 95 points. If we do not, the only hope that I have in the Leafs getting any goaltending over the summer and being okay next season, we're looking forward to next season now. The only hope I have that the Leafs have good goaltending next season is because Garrett Sparks has been signed to a $750,000 contract. $750,000 for a year, I think. That is a completely dumpable contract. You can waive that no problem, send that down. That contract is not a worry. I think that's why they signed him, because they want to look for a goalie this summer to back up Freddie, because Sparks has not done the job. I think this was his testing year. They bring him up, say, okay, here you go, kid, here's your shot. You're a backup now. You're in the NHL. This is your big chance. He's 8-1. I have not checked the exact save percentage on him, but it's not incredible. For goodness sakes, I want to like him so badly. He's got my name. I want to like him. I want to say Sparks and Freddie are some of the best goaltending tandem in the league. Sparks won the Calder Cup last year. He had a terrible Game 6 against Texas, came back and stonewalled them. He put up the Great Wall of China in front of the net and just stoned him. He played great earlier on in that series. He played incredible. That whole series, he played really well. Yes, it went to 7 games, but he played great. He played really well. Game 6, yeah, that was a bit of a hiccup. Comes back, and as I said, Great Wall of China just stoned him. They couldn't do anything about it. And then Kyle Dubas, who was the general manager at the time, is like, oh my goodness, we have our new backup, and then eventually our starter. And they're like, okay, sweet. And we all look at it, all hockey fans, Leafs fans, we're like, okay, he can be great, or maybe he'll need a bit more time. Everybody thought because, he won, he'll be like, okay, sweet, we've got our next backup goalie and eventually our starter. Backup Freddie. at the beginning of the season, I was a little bit skeptical because McElhaney had played really well, and we had Pickard, who I thought, even though he only played one game as a Leaf, played against his former team in a losing effort, but he played super well in that game. Played really well, stood on his head. I thought that maybe we could have used McElhaney and Pickard over Sparks, but I was like, look, he's won the Calder Cup. He knows what he's doing. We'll bring him in and just see how he goes. Brought him in, and within, he played a couple of games. He was playing okay, and then I kind of realized that it was going a bit downhill when he played in Detroit. When he played against Detroit at home in a couple of those games. I was lucky enough to go to one with my brother where they lost 5-4 in overtime. And the Leafs had to honestly just score their way out of problems. They had to score him out of the lead. There was a couple of times where, the Leafs didn't play their best game, and they were down 4-1, and I was like, look, it's not his fault entirely in most of those plays, but some of those times, as a goalie, I'm not at that caliber at all, but I know I was taught by really good goalie coaches and goalies who have been experienced and know what they're doing. I was taught to stay up, and I was taught to hug the post, and I was taught to do all that kind of stuff. To try to be as technical as possible in the net. And on some of those goals, he wasn't technical at all. He was down low, his shoulder was down. And in NHL, Gustav Nyquist, before he got traded, he was on the Red Wings. Gustav Nyquist scored a goal. He'll score any day of the week. Any NHLer score any day of the week. It's like you've got all the freaking size of a plate there ready to shoot at. Anybody can score that, no problem. So I was just, after that game, I'm like, is this what it's going to be like? He's had some good games, but is this what it's going to be like the rest of the season? Is this just how he's going to play? Is this what our backup situation is going to be like? We're going to have an amazing starter, an all-star worthy starter, and then Garrett Sparks. I really want to like the guy, but he's not giving us a lot to like. And if he comes back next year with a $750K deal, I want them to dump it. I just want them to dump it. I don't think he's ready yet. I think he could be. I'm not saying that in 3 years he couldn't be a backup, even a starter for the Leafs. I'm not saying that at all. Not in 3 years because Freddie will still be here, or maybe, I don't even know, because his contract is done in 2.5 years because he's been here since 2017. So this is his second year of his deal. He has 3 more. It was a 5-year contract, $6 million per, I think, in that territory. So in 3 or 4 years, Sparks could be legitimately in the conversation as a starting goaltender if he stays here. But this season hasn't been really supportive of him in terms of, okay, we're going into the future. This is our future guy. He hasn't shown that he can be that future guy. He's telling the press, and he's probably telling his teammates and his coaches over and over again, I should have made that save. I got to be better. I'll be better in the next game. I'm waiting for the next game. I'm waiting for the next game and the consistent number of games. We're running out of games this season. If the next couple of games he starts, it's got to be, look, you play, and you just got to rally and just go and go and go. I'm recording this on a Monday. Tonight, the Leafs play the New York Islanders, which I will be going to watch promptly after recording this. I will be going to watch that game. Anderson, my boy, will be in net. Tomorrow night, in the second half of a back-to-back, Sparks is going to be in net against Carolina. Carolina is having one of the best seasons I've seen them have in a very long time. They're in the playoffs right now. They're in 7th spot. They are in the playoffs right now. Carolina Hurricanes. The Carolina Hurricanes. I'm surprised they haven't done it in the past. They had enough players to do it before. I'm surprised they didn't do it. They're doing it now, and they've got a good squad. They kind of remind me of Vegas last year. They kind of remind me of Vegas. Vegas have kind of set themselves up as a team, look, we're here and we can play. Speaking of Vegas, they're going to do great in the playoffs. I think they're going to go 3rd round at least. They're playing San Jose in the 1st round, and everybody's saying Vegas in 6. I'd say that. I wouldn't be surprised if San Jose won, but I would put my money on. I would say Vegas has the upper hand just based on how the season's gone. This prediction that I was talking about earlier, how they had San Jose and Toronto in the final. That was early on in the season. That's how they predicted it would go. Obviously, maybe that's not true, but you never know. Playoffs is a whole different beast. right? Once the regular season's over, doesn't matter anymore. We've had 8 seed teams win the cup. In 2012, Los Angeles was 8th place. They just made it in, and they made it to the final, and they beat them, and they beat New Jersey. New Jersey had a way better year than Vegas did. They had a way more dominant year. They had Marty Brodeur, Kovalchuk, Parise. They had a great team, and the 8th place seed won. It's not like they can't do it. It's not like a team that people don't think will win can win. It's totally reasonable. It's just whether the boys will get on their horse and go. Now, getting back to what I was initially talking about, I got really sidetracked. So I'm gonna try to wrap this up. This game just showed that Sparks may not be ready. This is kind of like brought it all in. This is one of those games that really needs to open the eyes of the management of the Leafs, the coaching staff, that Sparks might not be ready yet. He might not be ready to play in an NHL uniform. He might need a bit more AHL experience. I'm not saying next year he will never play in an NHL game. I'm just saying next season, at the beginning especially, keep him down there, bring up Hutchinson. I'm sure people will be way more comfortable. Even now, I think going into the playoffs, I would be in favor of them bringing Hutchinson up and putting him in the backup spot. It gives everybody a bit more confidence because it gives them a bit more like, okay, even if Freddie may not have the greatest game, or if Freddie goes down injured, we don't have Swiss cheese behind us. We have a guy who's got NHL experience and he knows what to expect from a team. He knows what to expect. He knows what to expect more. He's been in the starting role. He was a bit of a starter for a while there in Winnipeg. He ran with the ball a little bit, and he knows what he's doing. So like, I would be in favor of that. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I doubt it, because Dubas is very much in favor of Sparks because he's seen what he's done in the AHL, as the GM of the Marlies. But if I were to be Dubas, I would say, look, Sparks, you can be our third string. I'm bringing Hutchinson up. I bring Hutchinson up for the game in Carolina, but that game against Carolina, that's not going to happen. But that's what I would want. But to conclude, so to wrap up the whole video, I tried this before, it didn't work, so I'm going to try it again. So the CWHL is ceasing operation because of economic unsustainability. I think it's a good move, not because of the skill of the hockey, because the skill of the hockey is out of this world, amazing hockey. It's economically unsustainable, like they can't live off the money. And I think, as I said about NWHL and CWHL maybe combining to create a league, or the NWHL taking in all those teams, or the CWHL taking in all the NWHL teams, or something like making a combination league, I think would be the best. I think it would give every team the opportunity to give its players a sustainable salary that they can live off of comfortably. I think that's absolutely valid, and I think that can absolutely happen, especially with the growing popularity in women's hockey and all that everything, like the women's being at the All-Star game, and that, like the women, like the one girl, I forget her name off the top of my head, but she had like 14 seconds. She was faster than 3 NHL players. Like, there's skill there. There's everything. They would have had every chance. I wasn't surprised at all that they would be faster. Like, they're working just as hard, if not harder. And to keep the video concluding, trying to get this to an end, the game in Ottawa, that was on Sparks. We've got to realize, look, it ticked me off, and I was screaming at the television. He's 2 5-hole goals, like, come on. I would hope that we don't have him as our backup at the beginning of next season. He needs more time. The Leafs are in New York tonight. I think they have a chance to win it. They've got Freddie in net. They'll gain their confidence back. They've obviously got more confidence with him in net. They've got New York tonight, Carolina tomorrow, and I'll be back and talking to you guys on Wednesday. So thank you guys very much. This is going to be the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Leave a comment if you liked it. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you very much.